Angel Reese, as you know, shoved or tried to pick a fight with Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese's popularity in large part is attributed to her behavior towards Caitlin Clark.
I mean, it's crazy. White girl running from the fade. There's Angel Reese right there.
Angel Reese reposted this to her TikTok account. I know the image is blurry and filled with grammatical and spelling errors. I'm honestly surprised that
Angel Reese pushed someone in the back. They didn't call it. She got the offensive rebound. Caitlin Clark gave her a hard.
I just think that Angel Reese really don't like this motherfucker, you know.
And that's fine. And that's fine.
And
Whether
that's
she does
fine.
or doesn't, that's
absolutely.
fine. Right.
Yeah.
Angel Reese has just stirred up a firestorm online after reposting a controversial clip clearly aimed at Caitlin Clark, and fans are calling it everything from petty to straight up hateful.
There's, of course, Caitlin Clark doing the responsible thing, not wanting to tank her public relations, like Angel Reese walking away after the take foul the other night.
Jealousy, resentment, and maybe even a hint of something darker. This is the side of Angel Reese we haven't seen before.
this hatred that Angel Reese has for Caitlin Clark, it appears to be racially motivated, which is something that we talked about last year when Angel Reese was entering the WNBA dump.
Just when you thought the drama between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark couldn't get any wilder, boom, Angel takes it to TikTok. And it's not subtle. A video drops and the internet explodes.
Angel Reese, as you know, shoved or tried to pick a fight with Caitlin Clark. And she shoved another player and got knocked to the ground and then hopped up and tried to fight Caitlin Clark. You know all that.
The WNBA season is only just heating up, and already we're witnessing fireworks between two of the league's biggest stars. What sparked this latest firestorm? Why is the internet exploding over what Angel just posted?
Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. The beef is reunited. I didn't get a chance to see the game because I was coaching this weekend, but from what I did see, Angel Reese pushed someone in the back. They didn't call it. She got the offensive rebound. Caitlin Clark gave her a hard take foul.
It all started with a TikTok that sent shockwaves through the basketball world. A video began making rounds online featuring a bold and controversial captioned white girl running from the fade. Right there in the frame was Caitlin Clark, walking away after a take foul, doing what many saw as the smart, professional move, avoiding unnecessary drama.
Right there. There's the picture. And Angel Reese did, in fact, repost this on TikTok, it looks like, and share it. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Or are you kidding me?
Angel herself once clarified in an interview that there was no hate between them, just two athletes going hard on the court. At the time, it seemed like mutual respect was at the core of their interactions. They weren't best friends, sure, but they weren't enemies either. It was the kind of intense competition that sports fans live for.
No, I mean the women's tournament. Watch it for yourself.
He and Caitlin Clark don't hate each other. Like, I want everybody to understand that it's just a super competitive game, and like, I would just wish people realize that. Like,
I don't think Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were ever friends. They weren't walking down the street together holding hands and singing their favorite Taylor Swift songs. I love you, you love me, let's hold hands and be besties.
It all started on the court, but it didn't stay there. During a heated moment in the game, Angel Reese appeared to shove another player, only to end up on the floor herself. But she wasn't done. She jumped back up, clearly fired up, and locked in on Caitlin Clark. It wasn't just a competitive spark, it looked personal, like she was ready to pick a fight right there on the hardwood, and the cameras caught every second of it.
And it's tough being me, but God's protecting me from these noises and these crazy Indiana Fever fans. This is the hatred of Caitlin Clark. She's irate with Caitlin Clark. She hates Caitlin Clark, and she's trying to pawn it off. Okay, Caitlin Clark has done nothing to me, but Caitlin Clark fans.
Reese went down, arms flailing, turning the moment into a clear statement. She wasn't about to let it slide. The contact was tough, but the message was louder. This wasn't just another game. The reaction? Instant. Angel jumped up, ready for whatever came next, eyes burning with competitive fire.
I think Angel dramatized it a little bit and flailed, but then she got up, ready for smoke. And now the talk is this, does she hate? I don't give a shit if they like each other or not. Who cares?
Yeah.
I think what has grown this game is the storyline and the rivalry that started back in college.
Some might be quick to label the tension between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese a full-blown rivalry, but let's be honest, it's not a rivalry when one team is getting crushed by 35 points. That's exactly what happened when Indiana Fever, led by Caitlin Clark, went head-to-head with Chicago.
Some jamoke wants to talk like that, then go home. I don't want to hear it. I love this rivalry. I am here for every single second of it. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you lose about 35 points on opening.
That's true.
It's not rivalry. Indiana Fever's on a different level than the Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special,
The backlash was immediate and brutal. As soon as the repost began circulating, fans and media figures alike lit up with criticism. Many were stunned that a professional athlete like Angel Reese would reshare something so provocative, especially when it seemed to target not just Caitlin Clark, but also stir up racial tension. Voices across sports media started calling it what it looked like, a blatant swipe laced with hostility.
So now that I'm really starting to look into this, I'm like, God, not only is this real, but you've got media members that actually do try to hold the WNBA to some kind of responsibility. They're talking about there's no room for hate, this and that and the other one, and you got a player that's blatantly advocating for violence against far and away your most popular player. All right, and bringing race into the situation.
Some even went as far as to accuse Angel of promoting violence under the guise of competitiveness. To many, it looked like the league was turning a blind eye because of who was involved. And that's when the outrage really started to snowball. It wasn't just about a TikTok anymore. It was about accountability, consistency, and whether the league was willing to stand behind its values when things got uncomfortable.
Right here, I asked the WNBA if they had a comment on Angel Reese's racist post on TikTok about Caitlin Clark. The league had no comment, nor would it address Reese suggesting she wants to fight Caitlin Clark. So much for, quote, zero tolerance for hate.
What's more, all of this unfolded just days after the WNBA launched its No Space for Hate campaign, a public commitment to respect, inclusion, and unity. And yet, when one of their own posts something so divisive, so inflammatory, the silence from the league has been deafening. Then came the TikTok post that set everything off.
Whoever posted this originally was able to spell "the" correctly. But the message, it says, "white girl running from the fade."
Angel Reese didn't say a word she didn't have to. The video she shared was loud enough on its own. A blurry, low-quality meme filled with spelling mistakes, but the message was crystal clear. White girl running from the fade. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't clever. It was a direct shot at Caitlin Clark, drenched in mockery, layered with what many are calling racial undertones. And just like that, the floodgates open.
It's kind of ironic because the last time that Joy Reid was at the barber, she ran from the fade too and went with the full shave. I'm assuming, though, that the racial connotation here is that Caitlin Clark is a scared white girl running away from the black woman.
But there was one thing missing clarity. No one seemed to know exactly what was said in the arena. Angel didn't say, the team didn't say, and the league couldn't confirm it either. Still, an investigation was launched. Social media ran with the story, but the facts, they stayed blurry. After the firestorm on the court and online, all eyes were on Angel Reese at the Chicago Sky practice.
But in Indiana, it's just so racist. They heard racial slur. Anyway, Angel Reese got asked about it yesterday at a Chicago Sky practice, and magically no one asked, and she never offered up.
Reporters wanted answers what really happened, what was said. But when the questions came, Angel didn't give specifics. Instead, she talked about support. She mentioned the WNBA, her teammates, her organization all standing by her. She spoke about the challenges, about how hard it is to play through the noise, about leaning on faith in her inner circle to get through it.
Obviously, there's no place in this league for that. I think the WNBA and our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, and I think they've done a great job supporting us in this.
How did it affect you Saturday, trying to do your job, trying to play, and having this going on simultaneously?
Yeah, obviously it's tough, but I think I have a great support system. I'm loved by so many people, and obviously in the moment it's hard to hear, but my support system is great. God has protected me in so many different ways. I've gone through so many different things in the past couple of years of my life, but I think just having this support and this love and being a part of an organization that really supports me and loves me is something I couldn't imagine not being a part of.
These two didn't just compete, they collided. National championships, first team All-American honors, highlight reels filled with emotion and aggression. From those early showdowns to this moment in the pros, they've never backed down from each other. They've built reputations on toughness, swagger, and a relentless drive to win, and now that college-born intensity is carrying over into the WNBA spotlight.
They have a rivalry that kind of goes back, to their days at Iowa and LSU, and they've always been competing against each other for national championships. They've always been, first-team All-Americans. Like, they are rivals on the basketball court, right?
Caitlin Clark may be coming into this season with a stronger physique and a new mindset, but Angel Reese, she hasn't changed. She's still that junkyard dog from Baltimore, still bringing that same energy that made her a household name. And when Clark switched roles from taking the hits to delivering them, it only added another layer to this already electric feud.
She wasn't on the receiving end of the hard foul. She gave the hard foul, right? And so, you know what I mean? That, to me, that said, okay, she's coming in with a different disposition this year. Right? She ready for the shit. She ready for the smoke. Yep. So I like to see that. But for every action, there's a reaction. Now, one thing we know about that little Barbie from Baltimore, Maryland, she got time, right? And so she reacted. If it was Angel Reese, if it was somebody else, she was going to react like that because that's how Miss Reese conducts herself on the court. She's a junkyard dog.
Angel Reese's rise in popularity didn't just come from her skills. It exploded after that unforgettable moment against Caitlin Clark. When Clark had been taunting opponents during her rise, the media didn't say much. But when it was Angel's turn after LSU dominated Iowa in the national championship, everything shifted. Reese clapped back in a big way, giving Caitlin a taste of her own medicine. And that's what put Angel on the map in a whole new way. That moment of unapologetic confidence sparked a frenzy. Suddenly, Reese wasn't just a player, she was a headline, a viral clip, a symbol of boldness. But fame came with a price.
Caitlin Clark's or Angel Reese's popularity in large part is attributed to her behavior towards Caitlin Clark. Because when Caitlin Clark was busy taunting opponents a couple of years back before LSU smacked Iowa around in the national championship game or so, it was Angel Reese that was clapping back at Caitlin Clark once it was Caitlin Clark's turn to have her comeuppance. And that's what made Angel Reese famous.
People are starting to ask the hard questions. Is the WNBA really about growing the game? Or is it more concerned with drama and division? Is it protecting all its players equally? Or only some? And what happens to the fans, the very people showing up, buying tickets and keeping this league afloat when they feel like their voices are ignored?
They're the ones grabbing the ratings. They're the ones paying up for the tickets, even on the road. And I've got to wonder, are you going to start seeing more empty seats even at Caitlin Clark games? Because I can tell you this, just from what I can gauge, a lot of Fever fans are already sort of fed up.
You can already hear the frustration bubbling over in the stands. Fever fans, who've been some of the most loyal and passionate this season, are getting fed up. If the league doesn't address these moments with fairness and clarity, it risks alienating the very audience it's been working so hard to build. Because if the WNBA wants to be taken seriously as a professional league, it needs to start acting like one.
There's other things going on like this being shared by Angel Reese. WNBA's turning a blind eye to it. Do they not realize, look, if you want to be taken as number one, if you want to keep all these new fans around, If you want to keep all these new fans around and you want to be treated like a real sports league, you've got to start taking things like this seriously.
Despite the outrage, despite the clear contradiction with their own No Space for Hate pledge, the WNBA has yet to even acknowledge the post. No statement, no investigation, nothing. The same league that just days ago claimed to take hate seriously is now watching from the sidelines. And that silence is speaking volumes.
Angel Reese posted this on TikTok yesterday. Here we are, 24 hours later, and I have yet to see the WNBA launch an investigation. Well, that's strange. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Wasn't it last Thursday that the WNBA launched their No Space for Hate campaign? No space for hate. No space for hate.
It's left many wondering, is Angel Reese getting a pass? Is the league selectively enforcing its own values based on who's involved? The public has started to connect the dots. Some say it's not just jealousy, it's personal. Others believe Angel's being influenced by resentment that's quietly built up among certain players watching Caitlin Clark dominate the spotlight. But whatever the reason, the WNBA's refusal to act is starting to look less like oversight and more like complicity.
It's because this initiative was never meant to monitor WNBA players. It was never meant to monitor the minuscule fan base of Angel Reese. This program was specifically designed for fans of Caitlin Clark, or as the media prefers to call them, white people.
As the dust settled, the internet did what it always does, it split. On one side, supporters stood firmly with Angel Reese, calling out what they saw as ongoing bias and double standard in how women athletes, especially black women, are treated. To them, Angel wasn't lashing out, she was defending herself, pushing back in a system that too often stacks the deck.
They're the real bad people, and they're in the arena shouting negative things at me, racist things. Let's think it through, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just trying to keep it real. I'm trying to drag the rest of you into reality. What do you think would be more likely to happen at a WNBA game? Lesbians throwing their panties at Angel Reese, or lesbians yelling racial slurs and taunts at Angel Reese?
But on the other side, critics were just as loud. They accused Angel of playing the victim, of trying to deflect from her own aggressive behavior on the court. The TikTok, to them it wasn't just petty, it was a calculated move, a public swipe at Caitlin Clark disguised as a reaction.
I'm sorry to keep it that real, but I've watched people on ESPN and all these other media people take this seriously.
But beneath the surface, the conversation got deeper. Questions about race and double standards quickly emerged. If the roles were reversed, if it had been Reese delivering the hit, would the reactions have been the same? Would people have called it passion or aggression? It's a reminder that in sports, especially in the women's game, perception often plays as big a role as performance.
When you talk about the race element and things like that, it does come out in situations like that, because if Angel Reese would have made that foul on her, right? It would have been a different, like we wouldn't be talking about, the reaction. We'd have been talking about the infraction.
Still, for many, this is exactly what the WNBA needs. Real rivalries, real emotion, real stakes. When players like Reese and Clark bring fire to the court, it pulls fans in, sparks debate, and puts women's basketball exactly where it deserves to be center stage. It's not just about liking each other. It's about playing hard, showing heart, and refusing to back down. And that's what makes it great.
And then it's a lifetime ban for them and everybody in their family, and put their name and face on TV.
Damn right.
Just make an example out of people, because for
absolutely.
us to ask people, hate will always be in this world.
The conversation turned to something deeper, understanding that while some people do spread hate, there are countless others who stand for respect, who support these players not for how they look, but for how they play. And as both Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark continue rising, one thing is certain: they're shaping the future of the WNBA, and the spotlight they're under is only getting brighter.
Now, Angel Reese experienced vitriol thereafter. It was tough for her to deal with, as she articulated, and that's unfortunate, because we got some no-good-ass people in this world. And their definition of happiness is bringing you down to the level of misery they experience endure every day. And so that's unfortunate. But in the end, the WNBA is moving upwards. Both of those young ladies are going to be incredible contributors to the product and the brand. The fan base should continue to love the WNBA and support the WNBA as we all do. And racial animus exists in this world.
So now the question is, will the WNBA step up and address what Angel Reese did, or will this just get swept under the rug? Fans are watching, and silence isn't cutting it anymore. Angel Reese's TikTok post wasn't just a swipe, it was a statement. Whether it came from jealousy, resentment, or something deeper, one thing's clear. The silence from the WNBA speaks louder than any video ever could. Angel Reese lit the match, and now the fire's burning across every platform. Was it just heat of the moment emotion, or something deeper: jealousy, rivalry, maybe even a personal vendetta? One thing's for sure, the spotlight isn't moving anytime soon. Every foul, every stare down, every TikTok post, it's all fueling a rivalry that fans can't look away from.
The league had no comment, nor would it address Reese suggesting she wants to fight Caitlin Clark. So much for, quote, zero tolerance for hate.
Angel Reese posted this on TikTok yesterday. Here we are, 24 hours later, and I have yet to see the WNBA launch an investigation.
And it's tough being me, but God's protecting me from these noises and these crazy Indiana Fever fans. This is the hatred of Caitlin Clark. She's irate with Caitlin Clark. She hates Caitlin Clark, and she's trying to pawn it off. Okay, Caitlin Clark has done nothing to me, but Caitlin Clark fans.
Dare I mention that Caitlin Clark came out with the 20-10-10 triple-double to start the season.
Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to own that. Angel Reese can rebound the basketball. She's a damn good player. She's got a bright future in the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is next level.
Love it or hate it, the fire between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is fueling the WNBA like never before. Whether it's rivalry, respect, or raw emotion, this story has everyone watching. One thing's for sure, neither of these women is backing down. Hit that follow for more updates, because this drama, it's just getting started.